Before we move on to the next unit, which is Unit 1, I want to quickly review the content we discussed in Unit 0. Particularly, we talked about a framework called the Thinking and Knowledge Framework, and we'll try to review that first. So, we said that knowledge and thinking are dynamically related to each other, and I'm going to quickly review that concept. Just imagine this is you, right? And this represents your knowledge. And we're defining knowledge as a network of meaningful bits of information. And we're representing these meaningful bits of information as these dots. And you can think of these as concepts. So your knowledge of whatever it is that you've learned or experienced is represented as an associative network of meaningful information units. Now, everything is in this box is outside of you. There could be knowledge in there, knowledge that you haven't learned or exposed to. That could be just information for you. That information is not meaningful to you because you have not exerted effort to make sense of it. So this is meaningless information. What thinking then is converting this apparently meaningless information into meaningful information. How do you do that? By making sense of it. Let's talk about the process. Conversion of this meaningless information into meaningful information is thinking. That's how we want to define thinking. Converting information that's new to you into meaningful information. What do you mean by meaningful information? Meaningful here refers to making sense of information. Any new information you do not know is unknown, right? You use your knowledge to make sense of this unknown information. That's how we learn. That's how we make sense of the world. We use the already existing knowledge in our mind to make sense of the new information. That process itself is thinking. Well, thinking means a lot of other things, but for now, we'll just focus on this process of converting new information into knowledge. Thinking uses knowledge. By making sense of new information, it is restructuring this representation of knowledge. So there is this dynamic relationship between thinking and knowledge where thinking involves knowledge and also updates knowledge. And just as an example, let's consider there is a new concept. I'll take the same example, osmosis. It's a biology construct. And in order to make sense of it, this is new information to you. You try to use your knowledge about biology or cells. The fact that cells have cell membrane, nucleus, and most of cells filled with fluid, and also that this outer membrane called cell membrane of the cells is semi-permeable, meaning that it allows some information or some materials to pass through it, but not other. Now, this information is needed for you to understand the process of osmosis. What you do is you understand osmosis by using this knowledge. In doing so, you also add the knowledge about osmosis. In other words, you're restructuring your knowledge representation. For instance, you learn that osmosis is the process of movement of fluids from their higher concentration to lower concentration. You can think of that as the fluid movement across the cell membrane in cells. So you see how new information is restructuring your existing information, but you're also using the existing information to actually make sense of the new information. That is the dynamic relationship I want you to be aware of. Now, in the next video, we'll talk about Unit 1, where we talk about the need for critical thinking. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.